Industrial Development meeting, and the agenda is first on the order is the minutes. It's been pre-distributed, no corrections or additions. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Next, what normally would come would be the treasurer's report. We had a change in the office. Laura's no longer with us, so we have outsourced the activity of the bookkeeping to a young lady by the name of Jody DiCarlo, who lives in Avon. She is a CPA, MBA, started and cut her teeth with Arthur Anderson, so she speaks accounting. She's doing a wonderful job for us. She's pouring through all the books. She is making sure that all the entries are, where they need to be and whatnot, but we're still in the process of trying to get October closed out. So I don't have a report for you. She went back and actually started reconciling through 25. So she wants to make sure that coming into October, she's got a good clean set to work with. So nothing at this point. We want to go into this audit without any problem and have Bonadio step in and be here for 3 hours instead of 3 weeks. No offense, Bonadio, but Jody's been great. And thank you for finding her, Maureen, and hooking her up with us. She did a stint with Constellation Brands for a while. She was with Discover Financial Services. She's wonderful. In fact, I hope at some point in time she's coming across an agenda so that we can put her in business. She can hang a shingle here on Main Street somewhere, and we can outsource our accounting services to her. She's absolutely fantastic.
So where is her office now?
In her living room, in her home. Yep. Yep.
So Theater 101 would be a nice spot.
Theater 101 would be a great spot. I agree with you there. She's just been fantastic. As far as Laura's concerned, it just wasn't necessarily working out. So wasn't any necessarily improprieties. We just thought maybe the job was a little more than she could handle. So that was sort of the decision that we made, and happened right after our last IDA meeting. And made the shift. We brought Jody in probably close to mid-month, and she's been fantastic to work with. So you can rate up on these. So I don't have a report for you on that, but expect one obviously at the end of November. I think we'll know for him. We'll be ready for the audit when it comes out. Jake. New business, we did get a resignation from David Finero. That's in your packet. Dave, who we appreciate, his tenure goes back to when he was supervisor for Lester. He's just moving on. As you know, he hasn't been able to be here, and he's trying to do some business with the IDA. We wanted to relieve any sort of improprieties with him sitting on the board and being a good friend to the agency, where he's had some services, whether it be lawn mowing or whatever, looking to enter a lease for some property that we've got at the prison. So this cleans it up for us. So with that, I think we should accept his
Accepting the letter of resignation from Dave Finero. I'd entertain that motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye. I'll send him out a note, just appreciating the service and thank him again for all of you. Next order of business. Oh, go ahead.
And I think when we think about replacing this person, I'd like to look at Livonia, Lima, Canisa. So that site, give us a little coverage down in there. Could be Caledonia, but Christie's very close to Caledonia. I'm in the middle, Jim's in the middle, Dave's in the middle, we're in the southern parts.
We've
In Mary Ellen's in the southeast.
with some openings that we've had before and kind of looked that direction. The one name that's kicked up is Ian Coyle. Ian, who's in fact in his interim county administrator with some budget duties, but not for long. Hopefully when we get this budget passed in a couple of weeks, guys. But I do hear a willingness from him to consider it. So if that name's good with you, I would pursue it.
Good with me.
It's good with me. You're right. Okay. I'll chase it. Bring it back up with him. I think the commitment's not more than he could do right now with his other duties that he's taken on with his new
With his business, he would be gone more, maybe a couple days first, he could be around at the end.
He's very much still tied to Livonia. His wife's here. He's not looking to get out of the area at all. So
if he's already kind of giving it a green light, he knows what the schedule is.
Yeah. And he's certainly aware of what the office does and how it works. So, I think he'd be a great addition to the board, and I'll see if I can pin him down, which is hard to do sometimes. We're getting moved pretty fast, but, I'll chase him. Next item is the Livingston County IDA amended sale of the property to Delaware River Solar. So we've got a resolution on this. I put the amended purchase agreement in your packet. The resolution came through last night, so I'll talk about the resolution, but you can see the assignment and the purchase agreement. Essentially, what we're doing is we're updating this. We started this process, believe it or not, in 21 with Delaware River Solar, so we want to clean this up. They are looking to acquire the property. A tentative closing date of November 17th has kind of been kicked around. I think we'll be ready for that. Nothing changes. The terms, all the original agreement is all still in place. This just brings the dates back up to match where we are today. There were some extension. I think we had 3 or 4 of them in the process. So again, this kind of the assignment that you'll see in your packet summarizes that. The resolution itself will say that I have authorization to sign documents on behalf of the agency, if approved, of course. It's still at $11,750 per acre. That was the original agreed upon price that was in the purchase offer, so that has not moved. Working out of memory, but the number of acres is between 29 and 30. I want to say 29.85. So it's roughly in that range of 340 to 350,000. If you, it's closer to 350 than
I think
340.
it's 353.
It's pretty close to that.
And
Yeah.
then we had 11 acres, we sold the timber out there.
Yep.
And then I think when you get done here, you need to go to the neighbor who was interested.
We've got a buyer in the back, right, for the wooded acreage that's kind of, it's not landlocked, but it's in the back. It's not very useful. It's, and we do have a neighbor who's interested in that. So I will chase that down. This would just be for the solar property, and am I missing anything else on the resolution? It's pretty straightforward. And we'll allow Gary to sign this and give me the ability to sign the closing docs.
This is a roll vote. So I'd entertain that motion.
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor, or I vote aye.
Aye.
That's it. There was one other thing that it does do. They are purchasing under a real estate entity. So I think our original agreements show this with New York Dansville One LLC. It is now Delaware River Solar Real Estate
And
LLC.
there was one prior amendment too, when they had assigned it before too. They've assigned it back and forth a couple of times.
Yeah.
But effectively, they just have a couple of different.
They're just forming new real estate entities. So
I probably got the original, but I think when the original said they were either going to lease for 20 years at so much an acre, and then they decided to buy. So
we offered them both. They took us up on the purchase option. Yep.
so with that passing,
You've got 2 signatures on those that I'll let you do. Dansville Crossings offer letters. So I put in just a kind of a summary offer letter to the interim county administrator Shannon Hilliard, expressing our interest to acquire the property at Oaks Hole, exit 4 in Dansville. I'm looking for no consideration or basically no money to transact, but there are 2 years of debt service left on the property of about, I'll call it 90+ thousand per year. It would essentially save the county $189,000 by my estimate. So that would be the consideration that we would be looking for here, is for us to pick up that debt service as the new owner of the property. And then essentially kind of nothing down. I put that in with Shannon. I have to say Shannon's kind of swamped, if you haven't noticed that yet, guys. So I just wanted to put it on your radar that that's out there. I think she brought it up, but she just said she really hasn't kind of had time to send it through with you guys. So if you want to run with it, or I don't know,
we'll go.
it's,
We'll go Monday.
yeah. If she's got it on an agenda, I don't know if she's gotten it to that point yet. All she told me was she was going to bring it up at the chairman's meeting. So if you decide or want to advance it, that offer is out there and we can go forward.
Okay.
I put the letter in there for your benefit. So it's out there. We could always formalize it into a purchase offer or do something more once we get direction from the board, if and when they're ready.
So the piece that you're cleaning up pretty much sold. 7 acres.
It doesn't have an offer on it yet, but yes, they want it. Yep,
Okay.
yep. We're cleaning up the road frontage and just taking down some of the brush that's there to show it a little better.
That's not full color.
Yes, yep, yep. So if you go by it, you'll see that just some of it's been knocked down a little bit to clean up some of the area.
Visibility is the issue.
It's
You know, we're not going in on really county property, you know.
It's just getting overgrown.
Cut down 40 acres.
Meeting times, days, and discussions. So as we come into the end of the year, this is always a question that we bring up. Does this day, does this time work for everybody? Is there anything different to suggest? It's been the first Friday of the month for longer than me. And it was 10 o'clock at one point. I think that was so Pat and Walt Isaac could get to a martini lunch, but we backed it down to 9.
Everybody would figure out one.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah,
The old days.
I think they used to head up to the country club, didn't they, Jim?
Yeah, then the yard became a popular spot.
That's our spot.
All guys. Yeah, we went to okay. But yeah, so if this works for everybody, it certainly works for us.
Yeah, fine, good for me.
Don't like to shift it around too much if I can make sure we get quorums, that's the key. And that said, I mean, we do count on quorums. I do put that out in each time I send out the advance agenda and minutes. Just please, let me know. We did have 2 that called off today. I think Kirsty's got something with her son at the school and Mary Ellen couldn't make it today. So we fill Dave, then we're back to a little bit of a cushion, but we need 4. So some days it's hard to make sure that we can get everybody here. As long as it works for everybody, I'll keep it. Moving on to the comments and updates. So the prison, I'll go there first. Week from today, that's the 14th, I have a site visit with some folks from U of R. There's still some interest there. What the use might be for the property is a little bit still up in the air. I'm anxious to hear that Friday what the use is for the folks that I'm taking through. But there's been a lot of discussion about what they could use it for. And I guess I'm hoping that we can narrow that down based on the discussion next Friday. It's still looking at all of it at this particular time, but again, next week might tell a different story. I have no idea. I guess I'm kind of going in with a very hopeful spirit. I do think that we've got a good opportunity here. I don't know if you've got any questions. I don't want to get too far into details, just that it's executive level U of R folks that are coming down.
We're gonna keep the heat on for a while. We're good.
Yeah, and then we can make some decisions.
Decisions after that. At the start, they weren't really too less than 50 acres there.
Not really talking about the land in the back. No, not at all. Or candidly, the first conversation I had, nothing outside the fence.
Are we
But,
gonna sell that? Are we thinking of selling that 50 acres?
Well,
potentially,
I think it's probably a good deal.
it's in our pocket.
I think it'd be very easy to get a right of way down through there when the way that road runs.
Yeah, I think we could. I wish that meeting happened yesterday, so I'd have a really good update for you, but I'm kind of going in with a little bit of a blank slate to see where it takes me. We're gonna go from there. So I don't have a great update for you on it, but I can let you know that the activity is still very much there.
If big shots show up, they're thinking of something.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't even made it to them if they would have went up and said, here's what we got now. What's next on the list?
I agree with you. 100%. That's kind of why I'm really anxious about it. We're gonna curate the tour and make sure we get them in the buildings that look best and make sure it shows. I hope the snow's not flying. But
Well, you know, when we theoretically could give it to them to get 200 jobs there if possible. That's the big issue in this.
We could get really creative depending on how much impact this has. You know, I'd love to recoup what we've got in it. That would be my hope. But let's see what it
Yeah,
brings.
well,
There.
because there's loading docks there, very easy to put other loading docks, portable ones in there. For pharmaceuticals, it seems like it would be ideal. You know, the security end of it.
Clinic, would be perfect. I mean, I work with clinic, yeah, that would be,
Yeah, I mean, I keep talking about the fence only as a boundary. Obviously the fence probably coming down would be something, you know, more amenable to clinics and things like that. You know, shouldn't look like a prison when you're going to get healthcare treatment. But,
If you didn't want to shot and start running, they got you.
there's some moving parts, and I can say that things are kind of fluid, with some of the conversations that I've had with noise anyway, but this, as I say, is more U of R Rochester centric. So, again, appreciation to Erica for some of the contacts and connections we had that way, but, right now it's just gonna happen. So it's on the calendar, and we'll see you next Friday. Exit 4, I've already gone over that with you. That's got some good opportunity. We still have a very hot, interested buyer in that front 4 acres of property. And then with the offer that goes to the county, I'd love to take this over for you, take it off your hands, save you a little bit of money, and try and market the rest. That said, I did go through a site tour at the NYSEG substation that's down there right next to the property. They are doing an enormous investment in that substation, 122 million. A lot of it's to handle, actually, I didn't realize it. Power to that substation comes all the way from Niagara Falls, through Mount Morris and
Yeah,
through Morris Ridge. And then actually from there goes as far as Geneva. But they're putting in some enormous 400 megawatt transformer in there that has got all the NYSEG guys giddy because they've never seen anything this big. But it was built in the 1940s. They're essentially kind of bringing it up to date. It's going to expand from where they are. It's about a 3-year project, and then they're knocking down what they did in the 40s. So you can kind of tell if you look at it, it's aged.
Yeah.
It looks like old steel versus new steel. And
that's what they're doing in Perry too.
Yep. So they got a couple of them that they're working on. Armstrong is going great guns. They're doing well over there. They're moving just a little bit of dirt to get their site ready. We have finalized everything, only with the town of Livonia, so the approvals look good from that side of things. It's going to start with a Morton building, so it's going to be a fairly small venture here. Will they be up and running by the end of this year? Doubtful. They've got some lead time on equipment that probably is going to take them into the spring. So I would put a better estimate on this of mid-spring maybe of 2026, where they can actually get up and running. They do a lot of their bidding in the fall, so they're really going to miss this window here. But next year they'll be keyed up and ready to go for it. So good things happening there, and excited about it. Project Allegro 2 is very much on the front burner right now. That package goes in on the 12th to the prospect. We're going to see just exactly how well we can compete with the other site that these folks have and try and put our best foot forward. $146 million project. We love to see it. 57 initial jobs in addition to what they have here currently. So
Where's that at?
it's on the north end of the county. I've still got it under code at this point, so we're working through it. Yeah, nice project. We really want to land this. It's a full out effort. Utilities are there. We were a little afraid on gas, but RG&E came through, made it to the top of the food chain at RG&E, and they said, we'll put the investment in that will get you the amount of gas. So we cleared that hurdle. That was the last sort of remaining one that was a problem, and we got past it. Electric's there. Water, sewer. Yep, not big user of water sewer, but that's there. It does have a rail component with it. So very excited about that one and trying to make sure it happens. What else have I got to talk about? Anything that's hanging out there?
Well, you got that other tour, which kind of nothing to do with us, if you can.
No,
We're
which I arranged it for for some folks at the county land bank mostly was the old camp. You call it the camp. Is that really what it, I guess, it's the Shaker camp, right?
Yeah.
Out behind the golf course.
They had 200 prisoners there at one time.
Okay.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
is out
You
behind
know,
Groveland
you go up.
Correction.
Golf course is right there.
Yep.
That's it still in Groveland too, isn't it? Or is that in Mount Morris?
That's Groveland.
So we, land bank wanted to see, Angela Ellis is doing some housing studies for the county. They wanted to get a tour of it, so I arranged a tour with our contacts that helped us with the prison, so. Not looking for any action out of this board. Angela would take that one on. So, yeah, that's coming up on the afternoon of the 14th.
I'm surprised they haven't asked for the prison for the housing.
It's been brought up. That's why I say there's some moving parts here. Trying to keep it for commerce, jobs. But that's very much on a burner.
Water, a little short of gas, so good with water, we're pretty much good with electricity. There's an issue somewhat with sewer. That's in process.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, wouldn't be once we get to that. But, Water and Sewer Authority is working on that. That's a legislative item, so we've got to get that through the legislature only. And it does need some upgrading and some capital expenses put into it. So that's what I got. I think there's anything else I'm missing.
Well, there was pieces in those two buildings.
Those were, I'm working on with Andrew, this purchase of the land kind of put that on his desk over top of the leases, so we are working on those, it's just backburner.
And what we did discover is there's a loop that comes off in 36. In behind those buildings that we're just talking about, the 6-inch water line. So if, you know, a 1-year lease with the option to buy if we decide to sell, we'd have to do something with that, you know, so because prison's gonna want it. And I think it makes her a loop and goes down and around and.
Yeah, there'd be some, logistically, there'd be some work in trying to figure that one out, but we can do it.
It'd be a work easement, you know, surveying issue primarily. I'm surprised that they didn't put that in there to start 2 years ago.
We didn't.
Which they did. And Bill had found a lot of paperwork in that one building there.
All the paperwork, I think. It's in a whole back room over there.
The camp?
No, in the red shed outside the fence, right next to the OGS trailer.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a whole back room of all of the paper plans and prints and warranties on the windows and, oh my God, I found everything.
What he did find was the removal of the tanks.
They found some environmental information. DEC supposedly didn't have a record of it, and I don't know how I did it, but Gary and I were in there poking around one day, and the first 3 things I pulled out were Lee Rose reports on getting rid of the tanks. I probably went and played a lotto ticket, and then. So that's the deal, that's IDA.
Yeah, and the Mount Morris property.
And well, that's also a little bit, yeah.
And works. We got, everybody's interested there, I think. How do you get to the Greenway? Who handles that? No, the DEC.
What's her, I can't ever remember her name.
Freeway said it's all.
You read that.
The DEC handles it, don't they?
No, there's an office up in the lunch room.
Christine, you rebase the.
Yeah.
You mean up at the dam site there?
No,
No,
she really does, in the.
Oh, she's in the administration building in the south?
at one point they were looking,
We thought she might come up the base camp, but. couldn't talk to her.
Well, the Finger Lakes trails up at the visitor center, yeah. Well, and I can't imagine that the village would want to take that street. So
we block it right now.
we block it, so. It'd be nice if they could get into the village buildings,
Yeah, I
unless they came Erie Street.
want to convey all of that over to the and to the Greenway. So there's two properties there, and then we've got the third parcel which is the contaminated parcel that we got interest from Chris Young. That would clean that whole thing up.
Okay, anything else? Any questions, comments? Hearing none, I take a motion to adjourn to December 6th. Second. In Favor?